Coach Steph here. So glad to see you again. Today, we're going to talk about adult kid frustrations. So, frustrations with your adult kid, adult kid frustration. So as we jump into this fun topic, will have a part two for adult kid frustration. This one's going to be about money, 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 money. So be paying attention for the part two, which will have a different emphasis altogether. But yes, as we get into that, hit that subscribe button, let other people know, comment, let me just know your thoughts and what's a sticking point? What do you feel like you have done well in these areas? So I would love to hear all about it. Okay, you ready? I'm sure you are. Adult kid frustration and around circling around money. Again, this is a place that, man, they may be adult all day long. In other words, they're 18. They're considered as an adult to the world, but are you still paying their bills? Are they still living in your house? Some may have a really sweet setup that you're actually paying their bills to not live in their house, in your house. So when you set up these systems, it can be so frustrating to know, how do we pivot out of this? How do we help them actually be an adult, which means they are taking on responsibility for their life financially. Wouldn't we love that? Can give yourself a raise by starting to put these things into practice. So number one is that you need to realize you set up this system this way. Ouch. I know that hurt. But you set up the system that your kids are expecting this level of you paying for things and still paying for things, even though they're an adult, whether they're an adult that lives in your house or out of your house. So you have set the system up this way. If you can take ownership of that, if you can realize, man, we started out this path because we wanted to give our kids everything we never had. Great. Now you understand why you did it. Now you need to start unraveling backwards. How do we undo this? Because we do realize they are able-bodied human beings, that we've given them everything we know to give them. Now it's time for them to take responsibility and take care of themselves. So that's number one, is to realize you're the one that set up this system this way. Number two, I want you to consider that demanding respect from them won't work. Can't demand respect. You can earn the respect by setting good boundaries in place and following through with them. But if they're not respecting things you're already asking of them, let's say they live at home and they're not taking care of things in an adult-like fashion, even chores, that kind of thing, or just an entitled attitude that, hey, I need some gas money, or hey, I need money for this or that, or maybe you're still paying their cell phone bill or things like that. When you take and consider them, you setting the system up this way, they're not respecting how hard you're working. They may feel like, I'm an adult. I don't want my parents telling me what to do. Well, buddy, you are living in my house. So the best way to move on is say, hey, we want for you what you want. We want you to have agency of yourself, have all of the ability to make the decisions that you want to make without mom or dad seeing what you're doing or picking on what you're doing. The best way for that to happen is a win-win for both of us. It's time for you to move out. So those are hard conversations, but they're good conversations. And if you realize that not demanding respect for them, but help setting up a plan for their exit, when you do that, man, you are going to make them feel more competent in this world. You are going to help them feel like, yeah, I got this. I can do it. Because most of the time they're not doing it, they don't feel like they can handle the pressures of all of those bills and they stay in the comfort zone of your home. they actually can do it. And if you put a little bit of pressure on them to make this move and make this shift and help put a very specific plan together, then you're going to help them feel confident in being able to do those things. What if they don't follow through? What if you set this plan in motion? This is our next point, by the way. What if they don't follow through? Then what? Then what? Where do you go from there? You're like, this person is in my house. I don't feel like I can kick them out on the street. If they don't follow through, I just feel like here we are in the same situation. Well, the truth is, what are you paying for? Because you do have an ability to take that back. It's not theirs. They may think their phone is theirs, but it's not if they're not paying for it. It's yours. It's in your name. You are paying the bill. So all you have to do is set the consequences in motion. And again, always talk ahead of time about what consequences look like if they don't follow through. This helps them to win. If they know, oh my goodness, if I am not setting enough money aside from my job to pay my phone bill, it's going to get cut off. But the only way for them to feel the pain of that is for you to follow through and not like, oh, I feel bad. They have to have their phone. I'm going to pay it again. Let them feel that consequence. So if they don't follow through, you have to really make sure that plan is in action. You may have to have grace and say, okay, I see maybe the timeline I gave you was a little bit too much. Let me share with you my daughter that really wanted to move out of the house and be on her own, making all her own decisions at 18. And we're like, great, go do it. But her thinking through, oh, I need a deposit to put on an apartment. I need furniture. I don't have any furniture. We did give her her bedroom set so she at least could sleep, not on the floor. But she didn't have couches. She didn't have a TV. She didn't have a side table. She didn't have the things to make a cozy little home for herself. And again, young adults often don't think through these things. So for her to go through that process, we let her know we have the same goal you do. We're on your side. That's so helpful for them to know you're on their side. You want to move out. You want to be independent. This is what we're asking of you. You need to work full time while you're here with us. And we need to work at saving up your money, which she was used to spending all of her money that she made. And so we would say to her, we're taking half of your salary. You don't have other bills and things that you're having to take care of when you live at home with us. So half of your salary is going to go into a savings account. And when that builds up to a place where you can buy a little bit of furniture, you can get your deposit, you can pay for your own cell phone, your own car insurance, your own gas, all of these things, that then you are ready to launch. You're ready to go out to the world and be you, make all your own decisions, pay for all of your own bills. So in that process with her, we did a slow transition. So we said, we'll keep paying for your car insurance. You're paying for your own gas. You're paying for your own cell phone. So we found something: insurance, health insurance, and car insurance are the two things we continued to pay for while she was out of the house for a while. And we gave her a few years to get the other bills under control and see that she can do it. And then we added the health insurance and the car insurance onto her as well. So again, you can have lots of different ways to make this plan work, but you have to have a plan and you have to follow through with the consequences if they don't follow through. And I want you to sit and think, if the plan isn't fully mapping out, rethink it and see, are we being fair here? Does this make sense? And maybe you need grace for a month or so before you re-implement that plan again. So be flexible, but also be willing to follow through. And again, we've already talked a little bit, but that last point is stop protecting your adult kids from consequences. That is your fourth and final point on this one. They have to feel the pain of it. If they won't see the wisdom that you have to give them to just follow through, they have to feel some pain point for them to learn and adjust. And that pain point might be walking around without a cell phone. And I promise you, even though that could be really hard, they will survive. All right, friends, life can be messy, but you don't have to be. I'm glad you're here with me. You blessed me when you are here. I hope I bless you back. You have an awesome day.